Thank you so much for having me today. I'm happy to be on your show. I'm Chief Mrs. Adenike Olumide-Emannuel. I'm the Otunyalaje of Ojoduland, and I'm also the Chief Operating Officer of Adenike Seller Foods and Products Limited, where we manufacture and package indigenous quality foods and products. The vision of our organization. Well, our vision is to be one of the top players pushing the frontiers of the Nigerian agricultural sector in order to meet global and local demands. And our mission is to make quality and indigenous foods and products available to Nigerians, home and abroad. Yes, I have been an employee before being a CEO. And it's been a good experience for me because it made me know, what to do, what to expect, what to do as an employee, and then what to expect from my employee as an employer. So way back then, I worked as a telephone operator, and it wasn't an easy job, but I just had to do it when I left school then, when I was looking for something to do. I just didn't want to sit at home, so I had to do that. And then from there, I moved on to teaching. I was teaching at a primary school, and that was when I knew that I don't have the teaching grace. Teachers have grace. And then from then, I moved on to be an account officer of a ministry. It was after then that I started my own organization. So it's been a fantastic time. It was a fantastic time when I was an employee. Oh, well, being a boss can be in, let me say, two folds. So you can be a boss as an employee in an organization, and then you can be a boss as an entrepreneur, somebody who owns the organization. So there are two experiences. So as an employee, I was working for someone. All those places I mentioned, I had people I was working for. So I had bosses that I was reporting to. But as a boss who is a boss within an organization, you have people reporting to you, and then you might also be reporting to someone because there's somebody ahead of you. But also as a boss who is now an entrepreneur, that's totally a different ball game, because you are thinking, you are sleeping, waking, eating your business. That's just the way it is. Well, the worst moments. Let me begin with the worst moment. So I remember when I opened one of my offices at Ikeja. We were at Ajanaku Street then. And then we opened the office this week. It was an event planning office. And then the following week, there was a flood. And the flood entered into my office. My, oh my. When I came on Monday to come resume, I saw water everywhere, and I was devastated because I just opened the office the week before. That's been one of my worst moments so far, and I pray I don't see any other worst moments again. But what I learned from that was that it's better you have a positive cash flow than to tie your money down in capital items. So you don't really have to have much furniture when you're starting out as a boss, as an organization, as an entrepreneur. In fact, if you can work from home the first 2, 3, 4 years of your business, that's a nice one, a fine idea. But if you have to get a space, yeah, make it beautiful, but don't tie down your money. Don't tie down your cash down in capital expenses. That's what I learned from that. And then best experiences, well, was 6 years. I think we're growing. So I won't say I've had a best experience thus far, but I've had some good moments. And one was when we acquired the land for the factory. at Ofada. It was a good moment for me. Another good moment was when we built and opened this place that we're having this interview. It was also a good moment for me. I'm looking forward to having best moments. Biggest challenge I've ever faced as a boss. I will say it was way back, I think in 2013 or 14, when one of my members of staff left. So we're a small business, and most small businesses, when you begin, you can't hire the kind of people you want to hire because you don't have the kind of funds, to pay their salaries. So, but I had some people working with me, and there was this lady, I don't want to mention her name, but she was with me, and I kept sharing the vision of the business with her. I kept telling her how great we're going to be, how big we're going to be, that we'll be on some major TV channels. I kept sharing the vision with her. But after a while, she told me that she was leaving, and I was devastated. Not because she said she was leaving, but because I felt, or I thought she was going to stay, because we've had that conversation too. I asked my members of staff, what's your plan, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your 3-year plan? And leaving wasn't part of what she told me. So, I was like, okay, this lady is here. She's going to be with me for the next 3 years. We're going to build this thing together. So when she told me she was leaving, it was devastating to me. And I began to ask questions. I go for seminars, and that was one of the questions that I used to ask around that period. Why do you think a staff member will leave? Everything was okay. And then I realized that I probably drove her too much. So my business is my business. It's not her business. And the way I will handle and run my business is not the same way that an employee will run and manage my business. So the way I was driving myself, this business, has to succeed. We must make it. We're going places. That was the same way I was, pouring everything on her, and she couldn't handle it. So being an employer is more than just running an organization, just having customers, having business cards. You actually also need to develop emotional intelligence. You have to develop capacity. The capacity that you will have as an employee is different from the one that you have as an employer. So that was what happened. That was what I discovered, that I drove her away because I was pushing her too hard. So that was what happened, and I learned from that, and I've been making use of what I learned ever since. Well, there are many traits that makes one a good leader, but I think I will just mention 5 right now. So one is being a good listener. A good leader has to be a good listener. What people are not even telling you, what your members of staff are not even telling you, you need to be able to garner it, to get it from their actions, from their looks. So you have to be a good listener, and then you have to be able to delegate. A good leader must be able to delegate. You are successful when you have a successor. If you don't have a successor, then you can't be successful. And if you want to be a good entrepreneur, if you want to be one that will scale, that will grow, you must be able to delegate. Because if you can delegate, that means you don't trust anyone to run that business when you're not there. And if your business cannot run when you are not there, that means you're not an entrepreneur. You're just a trader. You're a trader. Your business must be able to run even when you're not around. And for you to be able to do that, then you must be able to delegate. Another thing is you should be able to communicate. So be a good listener, be able to delegate, be a communicator. By communicating, you share the vision of the organization with your members of staff. You tell them where you are right now. You tell them where you're going to. And then you carry them along. So you have to be a good communicator. And then next, you have to be courageous. Running a business anywhere in the world, particularly in my country, Nigeria, it takes a whole lot of courage. You have to be courageous. And then finally, you have to be a person of integrity. They have to take you for your word. When you say something, they have to meet you there. You shouldn't say good morning and then they go and check outside whether it's really morning. You have to be a person of integrity, because your integrity will reflect on your business. Well, my biggest challenge when it comes to managing HR is that I find it difficult to know where to draw the line between business and personal life, if I can put it that way. So we're a small business, and small business, one of the advantages that we have is that we're together, we know ourselves, unlike some big establishments where the MD does not even know, somebody on level 1 or level 2. But here we know ourselves, we relate, we talk, and then at times you find out that the members of staff don't know where to draw the balance, and then you're like, is it because I'm relating with you on this level? Is that why you think you should do what you've done? Or is that why you think you should have said what you said? So I find it difficult to do that, but I guess when we have our HR department, when we grow bigger, we'll find a way around it. Right now, I'm managing things just fine. Well, I'm not a micromanager. I don't micromanage people. I love people who are proactive, and when I'm carrying out my interviews, this part of me is what I tell to the prospective employees. I hope you are a proactive person. You're not somebody that will wait for people to tell you what to do. I like it when you come to me and say, okay, I've thought about this, I think we should do this. Fine. It makes me know that you are thinking about the business, you care about it, you're not just waiting for salary at the end of the month. So I love people who are proactive, and I don't micromanage people. I just give them the job to do. I expect results. I'm not going to tell you, do it this way, do it. If you come to me and ask, how do you think I should carry out this job? I'll give you advice. But I love it. I love it even better when you get the job done and I see the results. That's my kind of leadership. I think I answered that when I spoke about the HR section, but my kind of person, I'm a relational person. So I love to relate with my employees, and I tell you, we've had issues, over the years, and but I guess this issues has made me to even know my employees better, and it's even also enabled me to also know myself better. So I don't keep healthy distances, at least right now, in this small, medium level. I relate well with my employees, and I hope it will remain that way, even if we'll grow bigger, even when, because it's not if, we will grow bigger. When we'll grow bigger to maybe 1,000 employees, or maybe 2,000 or 5,000, I would still like to know, the key people and be able to relate with them. Okay, I will answer that question with two scenarios. So there was one when we had to leave the location that we were when we were at Ikeja, and we had to move space. It was really a tough time then, and I had to let my staff go. It wasn't anything that she did, but she just had to go because we were moving location, and there was no space for us to operate from, that period. So I had to call her and explain to her, and she was still willing to work virtually. And I did try to agree with her to work virtually from home, but as at that time, it was a bit difficult to know how to gauge if somebody was really doing the job or not, because at the end of the day, you have to pay the salary, but how do you know they're doing the work for which you employ them for in the first place? And there were times when I would just call her up and she'll be giving me excuses. And I knew that it wasn't what she really wanted. Like if she had been at work, she would have been doing her job. Because of what happened to the organization, we had to let her go. And I had to take the tough decision of telling her, look, lady, I'm sorry, I just have to let you go. Go get a job elsewhere. Things are not, going the way we want it right now. So that was one. And then the next one was, the COVID era that we had in Nigeria. The businesses, shut down. The economy was shut down. In fact, we were on lockdown, in the country. And when the country eased the lockdown and we started the production again, started working again, I had to call my staff and tell them, look, the way things are in this country, I really can't do full salary. I have to, cut your salary down. And I had to explain to them. And because they're also Nigerians, they understand what's happening. And so they accepted. And we moved on from there. And just let me chip in this, that's where the relation aspect, comes in. The way you relate with your members of staff when things are going nice, things are going fine, will determine how they will relate with you when things are not actually going your way. So when you are nice to them, when everything is fine, when it comes time for them to make tough decisions, for the employees to make tough decisions, they will think. I think they will think about what you've done for them in time past, and just decide, okay, let us go through these murky waters together. This boss has not always been this way. This boss is a nice person. Let us stay here with this boss and build these companies together. So you really have to treat your employees the right way. I guess when you treat them the right way, then they too will be, they'll treat you right too. So those are the two scenarios that I would love to use. I get the best of my staff. They still give me their best. And really, as an employer, it's not all about money. When people choose, to work with you or stay with you, it's not all about money. At times I have some heart-to-heart with my members of staff. Every year, every January, when they resume for work, I ask them, what's your plan for this year? What's your plan for this year? What plan do you have for the next 5 years? And so we discuss. Now, these are things that has made my members of staff to be cordial, with me. So cutting staff salary, of course, is not easy, but I've done things for them in time past, that will make them think twice, saying that, okay, I want to leave now because you've cut my salary. If they want to leave, it won't be because of salary. It might be because of something else, not because of salary. So really treat your staff right. They are human beings. When they come to the office, when they're not looking happy, this person. If person's not looking happy, maybe looking down, or maybe you call them and they answer you in a particular way, don't just overlook it. Don't think it's all about your business. If your staff is not okay, your business cannot be okay. Your staff needs to be fine. Your staff is actually your first customer, not the people out there. So you have to take care of your take care of your staff, make them happy, and then you can do the business beautifully, run it fantastically well, and then they'll be the face of the company out there. So when you treat your staff right, your company will be right. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. Have a reason for being in business, and don't let it be monetary. Don't be in business because you want to make money. Have a reason you want to be in business, value that you want to give to people, because the terrain of business is rough, and it is your reason for launching out in the first instance that will sustain you and keep you going during the difficult times that will come in. It's not a straight road. There are curves and bends on the road to success, but eventually when you keep at it, you too will become 5 years in business, 10 years, 25 years. You have something that you hand over to people. So have a reason for launching out in the first place. Thank you so much for having me once again. It's been a pleasure having this interview with you. I had a nice time. I hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye.